the body also. We can lose our weight also by following that. And also we should take help from the doctors, that is different thing. But authentic source, the source should be authentic. Authenticity. Anywhere we are putting our faith into. Because that faith is the pivot, is the key point where the transformation will come from. Any kind of transformation. If we are willing to transform, and the greatest transformation is so important, so nice. So greatest transformation is transforming the heart. What does heart mean? What does the heart mean? Does heart mean just the physical heart that is just pumping out the blood? What is the heart? What does heart mean? Like, मेरे दिल आपके पास है. What is ये जो physical दिल है वो चला गया उनके पास? ऐसा है? क्या है? What does heart mean? Feelings? Okay. Someone is saying feelings. Anything else? Emotions? Okay. What else? What does heart mean? Anybody? Yes, almost there. Emotions, feelings, consciousness. Okay. Who said desire? Thank you. Heart is a subtle bank of all the desires. Our life is running. We are doing certain things because we desired for. Right? These are desires which is driving us. Always, 24 hours. All throughout our life, whatever we do. These desires really make us animated. Otherwise, it's just the material body which is inactive. A heart really makes us animated. Whatever we do in life. The desires. We desire for something, we crave for something, we act for to get this thing, or person, whatever we desire. Now the problem is, what is the problem? The desire is, we desire wrongly. We desire to, and that desire ultimately leads us to more misery. Why? Why? Huh? Lust. Yes. My name is Abhay Krsna Charan. You can call me Abhay Prabhu or whatever you want. Abhay Krishna.
I do ask one, sir.
Yeah.
If you take the way I see next, like it doesn't affect my perspective, but I recognize doesn't think of lust in time. If I see them in person or if I'm just walking, I watch from something. Is it does that make me bad person or?
You see, it's not about bad or good. To know that this will not help us, right? This is not going to help us. Rather, this is going to deepen our material desires. This is going to deepen our miseries more. Right? It is okay to get married. It is okay to beget children. It's okay. Not in this way. This is just increasing our insanity. Right? People will become insane for this. Becoming insane. What are the problems with material desire? What are the problems? It is never getting satiated. It is never fulfilled. Material desires are never fulfilled. There is a story in Bhagavad. So there was a king who loved his wife so much. So he gifted a very beautiful necklace, saying that you are my most beloved. Kindly accept this necklace. I am giving only to you because you are my most lovable queen. So after some time, the very necklace that he gave it to his king, to his queen, he gets this necklace from another woman, saying that, "O king, you are my most lovable object, you are most lovable person, I am giving this necklace to you." Now king was surprised. How is it possible? I have given this necklace to my queen. How am I getting from this woman? Now, you know what is the problem? What was the problem now? He thought that my queen loves me also. That's why I also love her and I am giving this necklace to her. Now that queen had a paramour love, any love who is outside of marriage, and then affair. And then the queen gave that necklace to that man, saying that, "Oh, beautiful man, I give this necklace to you because you are my most lovable person." And that man didn't love the queen. That man loved someone else. And that necklace went to that person, and that person didn't love that man. That person loved the king, and it is just coming all around. This is material desire. It is never ending. Our material lust is never satiated. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, material lust is never, it is always burns. Material lust always burns. So lust resides in three places. You know, our senses, our mind, and the intelligence. So in this way, we are always acting lustfully. Lustfully means just to satisfy our own self. We don't really love any person unconditionally. Is there any relationship in this world where the person love each other unconditionally without wanting anything from each other? Can you give any example? And except for the relation between mother and the child, almost all the relations that we make has some self-centered lustful desires from that relationship, any kind. In fact, now people accept it openly. Okay, I want it from you, and I can give you this, so let us just combine, you know. Relationships has become more or less like business relations everywhere in the world. So just by business relation, we're not going to get satisfied in our internal personal life. Like, मैं तुम्हें ये दे सकता हूँ, तुम मुझे ये दे सकते हो, let's come together. This is what happening, no? This is what happening everywhere. The most surprising thing is this has even come to the come to so-called affairs also, love affairs, which is in fact a falsified theory. Nobody can satisfy anyone in ultimate way. Our satisfaction will only come when we purify our consciousness, and our satisfaction will come by knowing our identity with God, knowing our relation with God, knowing our relationship with Krishna. Only from that relation our satisfaction comes. There is no other process, no other source from where satisfaction will come. Why? Why it is so? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are not part and parcel of this country. We are not part and parcel of the human society. We are not part and parcel of the society we live in. We are part and parcel of God, Krishna. We are just living entities. We are the spirit soul. We are the living sparks. Spark. You know what does spark mean? Spark. Spark. What does spark mean? चिंगारी. सपोज ठंडी के दिन में आग कौन कौन जलाता है? ठंडी के दिन में आग जलाते हैं ना, बड़े बड़े आग जलाते हैं, बॉन फायर होता है. फ्रॉम दिस बॉन फायर जो बड़े बड़े आग लगते हैं, वो आग जलता है, एंड देन वो आग से चिंगारी निकलता है ना, वो निकल के उड़ जाता है ऐसे करके ना, chingari, no? Spark. That spark has the potency like the fire. In fact, that is fire itself. But the quantity of that spark is much, much less than the fire itself, the bonfire itself. Right? But that is fire also. The spark is also fire. But the unfortunate situation of the spark is the spark has been detached from the fire, and that spark is very soon going to get diminished to nothing. That is our situation in life, right? We are striving for some kind of identity, some kind of relation where we will get ultimate satisfaction from. We may try our whole life, but if we fail to identify ourselves with God, with Krishna, our endeavor for all kind of satisfaction of heart will fail. That is sure. That is, you can try. There was a story of Akbar and Birbal. Akbar said to Birbal, Birbal, I think this lustful desire ends with old age. Birbal laughed. Birbal laughed. He just laughed. Akbar said, why are you laughing? Is it not possible? Because when people becomes old, their desires automatically diminish. Is it not true? Birbal said, I will not say you anything now. You come to this person who is going to die very soon, and you can bring your whole family, your daughter, your queen also. And I'll make you meet that person is going to die, so why don't you just meet him in his deathbed? Akbar said, okay, I'll come. So Akbar brought his princess and the queen, and that person who is the king's servant, instead of seeing the king at first in his deathbed, he was looking at the princess in deathbed. Then Akbar understood, okay, this is the fact. This is the fact. The desires doesn't go with age. In fact, in our old age, unfulfilled desires become the cause of our depression. So many desires we desire for in the whole lifetime, we fail to achieve that, and just we become morose. That's why old people are morose, except Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was so happy that he just distributed the ultimate wisdom of Vedic scriptures. That is love of Godhead, to love Krishna, to love God all over the world. Millions and millions of people got this love of Godhead just by the mercy of one old man of 70 years of age. So you should understand that desires really make us animated, make us do things in life, but that is not the solution, just to run after whatever we desire. We should know what we desire for. We should be intelligent enough what we desire for. That will, if youths of India becomes intelligent, what they desire for, the whole society can change for good. No kind of altruistic activities or social welfare activities will bring ultimate good for everyone. But one thing will do good for everyone. If at least we can understand our relation with God. Because we fulfill our desires through relationships. At the last, why do we get married? 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 Why do people get married? Huh? That is different thing. That is for the kings.
We have to look after each other when they get old.
Okay.
Our generation.
to continue our generation, and
To fulfill the self-desire.
at least to at least regulate our base desires, to regulate it. Of course, nowadays so many contraceptions are there that, and such kind of marriage doesn't end at all. When any kind of marriage just happens, only to satisfy each other's desires, lustful desires, ultimately divorce happens, right? So that's a fact. We should accept it. Why do people get married? To fulfill their base desires. Otherwise, kings used to get married. Why? Why do kings marry? To give the society a good offspring for later generations to come. That is different. Why do people get married? It is okay to accept. And we should also know that many times marriage won't help if we are not focusing for self-improvement also. That won't help. At least marriage comes later. We should at least become a nice human at first. What does nice human mean? To at least regulate your senses. You should know what to eat, what to see, how to act. Just don't run after desires. I just love seeing this. Why don't you judge that person? अच्छा लग गया देखने में. Just दौड़ो उसके पीछे. That animals do, no? That many times animals do. And we really act depending on desires. Anything we desire we crave from heart, we do that only. So desires we can channelize. How to channelize those desires? How can we channelize desires? Can we say how can we channelize desires? How to direct the desires? First and foremost, at least regulate your life. Come to a state where you know that you are really living a responsible life. You are taking at least your own responsibility. At least you confront your desires. I have this bad desire which is not helping me to come up in life. At least not helping me to become healthy in life. Then you regulate yourself. Regulate your eating, regulate your sleep. No late night surfing in mobile. This really doesn't help us. And eating good food, healthy food, whatever mother cooks. Vegetarian is so much preferred. If not, you are staying in some hostel, prefer to cook for yourself. That is the best thing to do. Not eating anywhere and everywhere, like roadside food. भूख लग गया चलो खा लेते रास्ते के साइड में. These things doesn't help. Regulate your life. When we regulate our life, we get a strength in our mind to negate those lustful desires also. Through regulation. Without regulation, mind doesn't become our friend. Mind becomes the enemy if we do not regulate our senses. Mind will always play trick on us. Mind, you know what mind is? Mind is kind of, if the desires, if the heart is kind of our driver, then mind is, how to say, the steering wheel? Mind, what to say the mind? Ropes. Yes. किसने घोड़ा गाड़ी देखा है? हॉर्स कार्ट. हॉर्स कार्ट में जो सेंसेस है वो हॉर्सेस है, ठीक है, और जो माइंड है वो सेंसेस को कंट्रोल करने वाला रिंग्स है, रोप्स है, वो माइंड है. और वो रिंग्स कौन पकड़ के रखा है? चैरियट ड्राइवर, जो ड्राइव कर रहा है चैरियट को, है ना, वो इंटेलिजेंस. इंटेलिजेंस को कौन डायरेक्ट कर रहा है? आत्मा. आत्मा इज filled up with so many kinds of desire. We desire so many things always. You know? So we drive our mind or intelligence according to our desire only. So if we don't voluntarily try to regulate our life, regulate our senses, कि जो मन आया वो नहीं देख लिया, जो मन आया वो नहीं खा लिया, एटलीस्ट जानना चाहिए हमारे लिए क्या बेहतर है जीवन में, जानना चाहिए. Bhagavad Gita is saying, Prabhupada is saying so many times that good food, the mode of goodness. Ahar suddho sattva suddhe. By eating food in goodness, our intelligence becomes sharp. We rise in the mode of goodness. And then, ahar suddhe sattva suddhe, dhruva smriti. Our intelligence becomes very sharp. We come to know how to act, what to desire for in life. That comes. And smriti grantina vipra moksha. When our smriti becomes, our intelligence becomes very sharp, we can think of liberating ourselves from the miseries of life. Otherwise, we can hear so many kinds of motivational talks, motivational speeches. We can go to so many motivational seminars. But at the end of the day, if we are not regulating ourselves, at least for our own betterment, nothing will help. No? It doesn't help. So at the end of the day, when we regulate our life in this way, regulate our mind, regulate our senses, then there is a self-introspection comes. Okay, now this thing has come. Why I am facing this problem in life? Maybe I have acted in this way, and that's why I have been come in this situation. So why can't we change? Okay, let's change for good. Let's try to curb our desires. Earlier, I was earning 50,000 rupees a month just to enjoy in this way. उसमें से 20,000 तो पीने में उड़ाते हैं, 20,000 रुपये और खाने पीने में, 50,000 रुपये थोड़ा बहुत, और ठीक है इतना अर्न करो. अभी लेट्स जस्ट give that money for others good also. I'll not live for myself now. क्योंकि मैं इस तरह से जिया हूँ, अभी मेरा लिवर सिरोसिस हो गया है. My liver is damaged. So at least when we think, इस तरह से जीना शुरू करते हैं ना, रेगुलेशन के जरिए, तब सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन आता है. मैं इस पोजीशन में क्यों हूँ? Because ultimately I have selected such a life for myself, right? इसलिए मैं ऐसा पोजीशन में. ये इंटेलिजेंस आ जाता है ऑटोमेटिक. सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन कहते हैं. And with that self introspection, we should study the scriptures. We should associate with the devotees of the Lord. Then further changes comes. Ichha dvesha samuttena. We are suffering because we have desired to enjoy free from Lord, not enjoy with Lord. भगवान से अलग होके हम लोग सुख भोग करना चाहे थे, इसलिए हम इस जगत में हैं. जैसे कि भगवत गीता में भगवान कह रहे हैं, मम एव अंश जीव लोके जीव भूत सनातना. For eternity, these living entities are mine. Lord is claiming all the living entities, not only human beings, plants and animals and aquatics and birds and all this, whatever living entities we see, moving and non-moving, everyone is God's, Krishna's part and parcel. भगवान का ही अंश है. मामा एव अंश जीव भूत सनातनः, हमेशा के लिए, for eternity, not only for one lifetime, always. Then why are we suffering? What is the cause of our suffering? If we are part and parcel of God, God is Anandamaya Bhyasa, Krishna is Anandamaya. कृष्णा हमेशा आनंद में रहते हैं, स्वधाम में, अपने धाम में, His own abode, kingdom of God. भगवान हमेशा आनंद से रहते हैं. Why we, His part, are morals? हम लोग क्यों morals हैं? In the next line, भगवान is saying, मम एवं जीवलोके जीवभूत सनातन मनः षष्ठानि इंद्रियाणि प्रकृति स्थानी कर्षति. Because living entity is identifying with the senses and the body, that's why they are going through hardships in life. Karshati means going through hardships, so much hard work. Karshati, to satisfy the desires of the senses, right? Prakriti sthani karshati, in this material world, we are doing hard work, so much hard work. Example, those who are intelligent do not have to work hard, right? Like the capitalist, वो लोगों को पता है मैं पैसा दूंगा लेबर लोग को, मेरा काम कर देगा, वो अपना जगह बैठा हुआ है, वो डबल प्रॉफिट कमाता है, जितना दिए हैं उतना कमाते हैं, डबल कमा लेते हैं. जो लोग बुद्धिमान वो लोग ज़्यादा काम नहीं करते. I am not promoting capitalism, neither do I promote communism also, but I am just giving an example कि जो लोग इंटेलिजेंट है लोग कम काम करना पड़ता है, कष्ट कम करना पड़ता है. अभी हमारे हृदय में जो डिजायर्स हैं उसको पूर्ण टू फुलफिल द डिजायर्स हमें हार्डवर्क करना पड़ता है या नहीं पड़ता है? नहीं, ऐसे ही मिल जाता है जो चाहते हैं. हार्डवर्क करना पड़ता है. कैसा हार्डवर्क करना पड़ता है? थोड़ा में जाता है? कैसे, कितना? डिजायर कर, यस, डिपेंड करता है कैसा डिजायर रख रहे हैं. जैसे को बहुत बड़ा इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट बनना है, एक ही रात में बन जाएगा? बहुत काम करना पड़ेगा ना. इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट बन गया, इसके बाद रुक जाएगा, खत्म. क्या करेगा इसके बाद? और भी बढ़ावा देगा. क्यों? डिजायर्स आर नेवर सेटिस्फाइड. There was this very famous pop star, बहुत famous, very famous dancer, very famous. वो उनका ऐसा डांसर मतलब नहीं था 90s के दशक में. लोगों को पता नहीं था उसका एक्चुअल कैरेक्टर क्या है. He had got this empires of crores of dollars of empire. But later on, that pop star has been accused, and also it was proved that he was insanely like engaged in illicit activities with child. बच्चों के साथ illicit activities. उसका क्या कमी था लाइफ में? कुछ कमी नहीं था. He has got this empire of crores of dollars. People used to know him. लोगों को पता था वो कौन है. Used to know. पूरे जगत को पता है. इनफैक्ट टिल टुडे दैट पर्सन इज adored for his dancing and singing. But his actual truth is horrifying, no? So we can see that material progress doesn't help us to satisfy our desires. Gross craving, जो gross cravings है हमारे जीव जो जड़ इच्छाएं हैं, gross cravings, वो पूरा नहीं होता है. Is not satisfied until unless we become introspective, self-introspection, and take help from the scriptures. Put our faith in the scriptures. भगवद गीता पे अपना श्रद्धा रखना चाहिए. That scriptures never fail. Whatever has been said in the Gita has been truth 5,000 years ago. Arjuna won the fight, and today also. Highest readers of Gita is there in Russia now. Of course, India में भी पूरे जगत में प्रभुपाद जी का जो गीता है more than 150 languages and translate हुआ है. Why? People are benefiting from it, no? पढ़ रहे हैं. और पढ़ने के बाद we should associate with those who are following the Gita from quite long time. उनके साथ association भी करना चाहिए. We should associate with the saints, acharyas, or devotees. This will help us to transform our heart. So 3 स्टेप हुआ मैंने बोला. पहला है एटलीस्ट टू नो दैट वी आर एडिक्टेड, वी आर नॉट सिचुएटेड राइटली इन लाइफ. सेकेंड है क्या? आवर आइडेंटिटी, whom we are identifying with. Third is self introspection. Fourth is ultimately put your faith in the scriptures, Gita. And the devotees who are following the Gita without any ill motivation. Right? With these three processes, we can start the process of transformation. It takes time. It takes some endeavor. Without endeavor, it won't happen. Endeavor is required. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question, we can all discuss for some time. Any question? And thank you so much for pursuing. One name.
Officially, it's Thomas Singh.
Thomas Singh. Okay. We appreciate his confrontation, that he has confronted something, and I hope that you try to change for your own good. We just give a round applause, big applause for himself. Okay, thank you so much. Anyone? Any question? Take your time, think. Yeah. Oh, I'm here. Yes, yes.
My question is, you have defined earth as a subtle form of desires, a collection of desires. Now, in Shastra, we see desire is described. So, like, if we read Bhagavatam or if we hear about Bhagavatam, Krishna resides, Krishna permanently resides in our heart. So, how do we understand that if it is a subtle collection of the desire that is heart, and Krishna will reside in our heart if we hear about Krishna? So, how do we understand this statement and the definition?
Desires are there in heart, Krishna stays in heart, and
Define heart.
okay, you just say because I Kirtan is going on and not.
Prabhuji, in the seminar, you told that you are not mentioning about the heart that is physical heart, but the subtle collection of desire that we call as heart. And we hear in Bhagavatam that if we hear about Krishna, then Krishna resides in our heart.
Yes.
So how do we, like if it is a subtle collection of desire, so where Krishna comes? Does he remove just desire and where he sits?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very nice question.
Actually, Krishna resides in our heart always. Not only when we are materially situated, we are passing with material life and doing so many illicit activities, sinful life. Krishna is there then also. But then he is not responding us. He is just there. But when we hear about Krishna, when you start hearing about Krishna, the illicit desires in our heart get nullified. Actually, the correct end of this class is this only. I wanted to end this event, that when we start hearing about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, our heart becomes purified of all kinds of desires, and it is replaced with desires which will nourish us. Desires are not meant to be void. Our heart is not meant to be void. Just like water is not meant to be dry. Right? Water is meant to be dry. If something which is water and it is dry, it is not water. Right? Is it not? Do you understand? मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये पानी है, लेकिन ये गीला नहीं है. ये पानी होगा? नहीं होगा. मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये आग है, लेकिन ये गर्म नहीं है. ये आग होगा? Similarly, a heart cannot be desireless. Heart is filled up with desire because we are living We are active principle. How are we active? How we show our activeness? By our desires. We are given consciousness. We are conscious because God has given a certain level of consciousness to act in that way, to act according to our desires, right? But desires are the active principle which makes us active, right? A plant, their desires are so, those living entities, those are most base desire, their consciousness has been covered and they are in a tree form now, right? They can only become active in a certain way materially, like वो लोग अपना पत्ता को जस्ट धूप के तरफ घुमा सकता है, उतना ही एक्टिव है वो लोग, right? But those are also living entities. So these gross desires make us so much downtrodden in life. But the same desires, if that is purified by hearing about Krishna, by hearing Krishna, those desires will nourish us. The same principle of desire will nourish us. Now, then we'll desire for, okay, why can't we just go to temple whenever I get time? And just see the Lord, जब भगवान के विग्रह को देखेंगे, so beautiful Lord is, no? कौन कौन भगवान को देखें आज? सुंदर है ना भगवान, है ना? कितना सुंदर है? They, so just by darshan of Lord, our heart becomes slowly purified. Just darshan से हो सकता है, but then our shraddha, our faith in the darshan will increase. When we hear about the same Lord also, भगवान में सुनना चाहिए इसलिए. भागवतम में एक श्लोक आता है. अरे मैं श्लोक भूल जाता हूँ. क्या था? नष्ट प्रायशो वद्रेषु नित्यम भागवत सेवया. भागवत के उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकीम. All the anarthas in our heart, that is troublesome, becomes nullified. Nullified means it is replaced with those desires which is conducive for our spiritual nature to become more active. Now we have activated our material nature. किसने मेरे को 2 गुस्सा दिया, मैं इसको 4 गुस्सा मारूंगा. ये मेरा material nature है कि नहीं? क्षत्रिय स्पिरिट, मैं क्षत्रिय हूँ, हाँ, सिंह हूँ मैं. कोई सिंह है क्या? नो ऑफेंस. सिंह है तो सिंह, क्षत्रिय. सिंह सर क्षत्रिय, आप क्षत्रिय हैं? Thank you. Anyway, but then ये material consciousness है. द्वेष, ईर्ष्या, किसने कोई मेरे से आगे बढ़ गया तो मैं क्यों मैं आगे बढ़ने दूँ? I'll go ahead of him. This is continued from eternity. But now ये material life तो चलते रहेगा. This is never ending. We should try to activate our spiritual self also. There is a spiritual dimension in our presence also. What is the spiritual dimension? That I relate to Krishna. I am a part and parcel of Krishna. When I see Krishna, I become attracted. That is so fortunate. That is so fortunate. That is so fortunate. When I hear about Krishna, I become attracted. That is so fortunate. We should increase that desire. We should fan the spark. Suppose there is no fire, I just got some spark. If we just fan the spark, that very spark can just burn and become a great fire also. Just similarly, we are at present have some kind of attraction towards spiritual life, to know who God is. And maybe you have come to know that Krishna is God somehow or other. But that is not enough. We have to fan the spark to change the heart also. And that is possible when we fan the spark. Fan the spark means to increase the desire to know about Krishna more, to hear about Krishna more, to work for Krishna more, to give our life for Krishna, to give our time for Krishna, to spiritualize our existence with Krishna, because Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead. The whole scriptures, Vedic scriptures give this conclusion only. There is no other God. Matta parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. There is no one higher than me, neither is there any competitor of mine. मेरे से बराबर या मेरे से ऊपर कोई नहीं है. Krishna ही ultimate है. Krishna is claiming this. Krishna is claiming this. No other can claim such. No other demigod can claim that in that way. मेरे से ऊपर कोई नहीं है. कोई बोलेगा? शिव बोल सकता है, भगवान शिव बोल सकता है, मैं महादेव हूँ. नहीं बोल सकते कि मत्ता परतरम नान्यत, मेरे से ऊपर कोई नहीं है. कोई बोलेगा, शिव बोलेगा, ऐसा नहीं बोलेगा. Even भगवान शिव knows that there is a competitor of him also. Vishnu is his competitor. Vishnu is his superior. Krishna is his superior. So Krishna is claiming this in Gita. So we should accept this without any doubt, and we should fan the spark of attraction towards Krishna. That will lead to change in our desires, change of heart. So heart means it is a collection of all desires, and this collection of, I think it is more complex than the internet or heart, because we do not know क्या चीज क्या देख लेने से कैसा इच्छा आ जाता है, हमें नहीं पता होता है. We just get triggered by desires, no? Just like the artificial intelligence is working. We just type something and so many things come. Like Google is working. I am typing ice cream. फिर उसका correlate आ जाता है. Where to find ice cream? ये आइसक्रीम, ये कंपनी आइसक्रीम, all these things, no? So, heart is kind of, to give a material example, is kind of a net. जाल है ये, desires का. So many desires, right? These desires are interconnected with each other, right? Desires are interconnected. We desire for something, some other desires also arise. So desires are like net. It is like cobweb. But then the same desires which are binding us in this material world, if it is transformed, it is purified, this becomes the source of our highest inspiration in life. We can do impossible. Like this sloka goes. Pangum langhayate girim. If we are spiritually inclined, by the mercy of Krishna, even a lame man can cross the mountains. Mukam karoti vachalam. A person who cannot speak can also speak fluently by mercy of Krishna. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim. Kripatam ham vande. Shri Guru Nitanam Paramananda Madhava. By mercy of Madhava, by mercy of Krishna, this impossible thing can happen. Only if we are dedicated, only if we give we allow Krishna to work in our life. Many times we don't allow anyone, we don't allow God to work in our life. We just do what we are just doing. हमें जैसे जीना है वैसे जीते रहते हैं, भगवान को काम करने का मौका नहीं देते. Let Krishna work in your life. Let him work. To let him work, we should also regulate ourselves. ये बहुत important है. Without regulation, भगवान को उपलब्धि नहीं हो सकता है. It is not possible. We should regulate our mind. We should regulate our senses. With this regulation, we can come forward in spiritual life. Could please happen? Next one, question.
We are getting very easily distracted.
very easily distracted by women sometimes. So how could I protect myself with this all this thing?
You know, this is the greatest solution. At least you know this is that homage destruction. This is the solution itself. You know? In medical line, if you are diagnosed